the Hannah on the Road podcast. I'm Hannah Lisa, I'm your host for today and always, and as usual, I'm coming to you from my living room in the wonderful city of Berlin, where it's gray and fall-like, and that makes me incredibly happy because we had a lot of really unseasonably warm weather these past few days, or the past few weeks, 2 weeks even. So yeah, makes me really happy because that means I can sit on the couch and knit all the time without feeling bad about it. Yeah. This is a podcast about making primarily knitting and running a creative business. And if you want to find me, I am Hannah on the Road on Instagram and Reverie, which is where I'm most active. There's also a Facebook page that you can find under that name, but Instagram and Reverie are the sort of social media networks of my choice. If you want to find show notes for this episode and all episodes, you can do that on my website, and there is a little handy podcast tab, and you can just click on there. I have my show notes with me as usual, and especially necessary today because I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. Today is Monday, and I usually really like Mondays. I had a long call about making stories this morning with my co-founder Verena, and then for some reason a really bad migraine attack hit me, and so I took a few painkillers and I'm feeling a little bit better now, but still a bit me. So bear with me if I seem a bit odd or more weird than usual in this episode. I have a few things to talk about, but it's not going to be a gigantic episode, but I think I really like that. I sort of seem to, gravitate towards the more, 20-30 minutes episode these days, and I think it's really nice, and I hope you guys like it too. So if you are a returning viewer, as usual, I'm really happy that you decided to come back and watch again. If you're a new viewer, welcome. I'm so happy that you decided to check out this podcast, and I hope you really like it. I am going to start off this podcast, as usual, with my making segment, and I have 3 works in progress that I would like to share with you. And the first one is a half object, a hoe. I find that really weird to call it a hoe, but this is it, you guys. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this already. This is a sock that I cast on at the beginning of October, I believe, and finished 2 days ago, I think. I still haven't cast on the second sock, but I should do that, otherwise second sock syndrome might happen. This pattern is the First Day Socks by Verena, who is the Wool Club on Instagram and Reverie and everywhere, and as you know, I'm obsessed with her sock patterns. It's a toe-up sock, and it's the first of her Socktober Sock Club collection. The other 2 are now out, and they are fabulous. So I think I do need to knit socks from other designers every once in a while, and I'm going to force myself to cast on a pair that's not designed by her after I'm done with this one, but the other 2 are really good. So, and I think the Socktober Club memberships are still available, so if you're curious, check them out. This yarn, oh my god, you guys, we need to talk about this yarn. So this yarn is from a collaboration that I did with the wonderful Maria from Tuscan Knits, an indie dyer based in the US. If you haven't heard of Maria, I'm not sure in which rock you're living because she's amazing and her colorways are glorious. And we did a collaboration together a few weeks ago with some non-superwash sock yarn that's just the best. It's so squishy and so good. So it did have some nylon in it, which I think is nice because it adds some stability. But other than that, it's non-superwash, it's grown and spun in the US, and what more can you want? You could want that it's dyed by Maria, which it is, so yeah. Let's talk about the colorways. The contrasting toe and the cuff and a tiny bit of the heel flap is knit in Goldberry. That's the colorway, and it's really beautiful. I love it. I think I want to have a sweater in it maybe. And this gorgeousness here is Finn Lagan, which was exclusive to the collaboration, but I'm hearing that she might bring it back because you guys loved it so much. So yeah, Loving how these go together. I knit these on Knit Pro Zings, my trusted magic loop sock knitting needles, 2.25 millimeters, and I think it's 56 stitches, which is my perfect sock. So yay, half object, done. Happy Hannah Lisa. It's weird, Hannah Lisa. My brain does weird things sometimes. Okay, let's move on from one sort of green work in progress to another green work in progress. The Christmas sweater I'm knitting for my dad. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I am making the Redford pattern by Julie Hoover from one of Brooklyn Tweed's earliest men's collection for my dad. I gave him and my mom a voucher for a hand knit sweater for Christmas last year, which I can only highly recommend. Like, if you like knitting sweaters for people, make a little tiny ornament. I mean, Christmas is like here in 2 months, guys. We need to get started on the Christmas gift knitting, right? I made little tiny ornaments, sweater ornaments, and gave them to them. I made my mom a wonderful Nuri pullover, and now it's my dad's turn with the Redford sweater. The pattern is written for Brooklyn Tweed Loft, which I'm also using, and this is what I showed you last time. This is part, sorry, that's my coffee machine if you hear that. So this is part of the back, and I am busily working away on the front. So this is just honestly plain stockinette. I am at the point where I need to start the little sort of like V-shaped detail. You're not going to be able to see it on the pictures, but it has a little textured sort of like V-shaped detail here before it ends with a crew neck, and I'm about to start with that. The colorway that I'm knitting this in is Button Jar, and it's glorious, and I love it. And so yeah, I'm really happy with this. This is perfect TV knitting, honestly, and it's perfect for practicing my knitting without looking at my knitting. So I'm going to talk about what movie we watched later in this episode, what movie we watched yesterday, but it was like it was a 3D movie, and you can't really knit and watch 3D, but with this you can perfectly knit because you don't even have to look at your knitting, which makes me very happy. Oh yeah, and I'm knitting this on my Knit Pro interchangeables, 3.5 millimeter needles, and I really like the fabric that these 3.5 millimeter needles give. It's nice. It's not too dense, but it's not see-through either, and so yeah. I mean, see-through men's sweater, there's an idea. Nah, let's not go there. Okay, those are the 2 works in progress that you knew already about if you have been watching this podcast. And I'm very happy to say that I have a new cast on. So, first up, it's living in this project bag that the wonderful Anne from Oysters and Pearls dyed up. It's all naturally dyed, and then she sewed it up, so yeah. But it will have to migrate into a bigger project bag soon. Because you guys, see, like all the needles are tangled. Look at this! Okay, it's probably not looking like much, but, so, where am I gonna start? Because I'm so in love with this project, it's not even real. Okay, so, I was knitting on Redford, knitting, right? Stockinette, fingering weight, and the second project that I had was socks, and I was like, I need something that's a little bit thicker than that. And I've been hoarding the sweater quantity of yarn ever since March when I bought it, and I knew that this was going to be my release cast on to celebrate Woods, and then I was just like, one day, okay, I'm just gonna swatch with it. I need something else, and I swatched, and I completely fell in love and had to cast on. if you don't know yet which pattern I'm talking about, it is, wait, let me get a photo for you. Come on. There. It's the Black Forest cardigan, also by Verena. And it's this glorious fisherman's rib shawl color cardigan, knit in even more glorious Dererum Natura Cirano. And it's just the, I don't know, it's perfect. I want to live in this already now. And can you handle this? Can you handle this? I got an Instagram comment on one of the photos that I posted about this, is that said something along the lines of, if you can see the squish factor, you know it's gonna be good. This is good, you guys. Okay, so let's talk about the pattern first. So it's a cardigan. It's a raglan cardigan in fisherman's rib, which I, for some reason, thought was gonna be super complicated, and oh my god, and it's so easy. You guys, it's so easy. It's wonderful. It's perfectly easy, and you can even ladder down in it. Like, I googled, because I made a mistake. I had to rip, like, I didn't want to rip back, but I had to ladder down. I googled, find a tutorial by Bristol Ivy. Piece of cake. This is, I just want to knit this for the rest of my life, I think. I'm obsessed. So yeah, so I think this is just going to be my perfect winter knit and cardigan and everything. And yeah, and what's also really clever, I know I'm shooting my own horn a little bit here, but for everyone out there of you who hates these instructions of do this and at the same time do that, blah 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 blah, we also hated that a little bit when we were working on the book. So we cheated a little bit, and we actually put a link in the book where you can download a row by row instruction. And you guys, it's perfect. It's perfect, and yeah, I'm just so happy. I'm so happy with this project. And we need to talk about the yarn. The yarn is Dererum Natura French Merino, and it's their Cirano base, which is the thickest one that they have, and I love it. Like, I love knitting with it. It's quite thick, but it's not bulky. It's not bulky. And when you block it, it becomes incredibly soft and squishy. And the color just makes me incredibly happy. This colorway is called Doré, but honestly, every single color that I've seen of them makes me happy. It's perfect. So yeah, I'm knitting this again on Knit Pro interchangeables 5.5mm needles, because that's the needle that I get gauged with, and I'm really happy with the fabric, and I can't wait to continue knitting on this. Yay! So, if you are curious and you're like, I want that, by all means, you can get that. The pattern is published in Woods, which is, spoiler alert, sales channel, yay! Available through our web. Oh god, this is a horrible plug, right, guys? Okay, in any case, so Woods, the knitting book that I published together with Verena, that contains 11 wonderful knitting patterns, is available through our website and also through a host of wonderful stockists, among others, Told and Fringe. So yeah, I'm almost more excited about that than about the fact that the official release date of the book is a mere 2 weeks away. But you can already get it, you can already pre-order it either through us or through the stockist. You can knit this glorious pile of squish, and there are a few more Woods related things that I wanted to make an elegant segue to, but as elegance is not really my strong suit, this was inelegant, and I hope you don't mind. So, I already talked about pre-orders. I want to talk about events and a knit along. So events, we are hosting a release party because we need to celebrate this, right guys? And the release party is going to take place here in Berlin at our favorite local yarn store, Wollen Berlin, on November 3rd, which is Friday in a week. And it's going to start at 4 p.m. I will put the link to the event on Eventbrite in the show notes. If you are in Berlin, if you are in the area, we would love, 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 love to have you there. And we will have cake and little salty things and bubbly and us and books, and it's going to be fun. Yay! The second event that I want to talk about is that we're going to be exhibiting at Nottingham Yarn Expo on November 11 and 12. We're going to have a booth there with lots of these babies, and we're also going to have 2 talks about how we made the book happen. So if you are in that area, if you are in the UK, we would also love to say hi and meet you and go get your tickets for that. So yay for more events. Then the third thing that I want to talk about is a knit-along. So if you've been following us on Instagram or on the Revelry group, you will have seen that we sort of kicked off the release celebration month with a host of wonderful giveaways. So you can win project quantities and books, and yeah, we just want to celebrate with you. And what better way to celebrate than with a knit-along? So the official Woods Cal cast on date is November 4th, which is our official release date. I'm cheating, but then again, I'm not eligible for prizes, right? So yeah, we would love to have you. There's a chatter thread in the Revelry group open now, and you can just pop in there and say which project you would want to knit and exchange your yarn ideas with other people and so on and so forth. Speaking of Revelry, the project pages for all the patterns in the book are now on Revelry. So if you've been curious about which patterns are in the book, if you wanted to check it out before buying, you can do that now, and yeah, just see how the patterns look like. And then the last news that I wanted to share on the podcast related to making stories is we're hiring, which makes me so excited. So we are currently hiring for a first open position for the team. So we have a few freelancers that we're already working with, like our tech editors and graphic designers and so on and so forth, and photographers, for example. But we're, for the first time ever, hiring someone to directly help Verena and me in our daily work. So we're hiring someone as a team assistant. It's a virtual position, so you don't have to be based in Berlin. You can be based anywhere. And if you are curious to know more about this, then go to the website. I will also pop the link in the down bar below. The timeline is pretty tight because we're looking for someone to start as soon as possible, possibly by November 1st. So applications close on October 27th, 3 p.m. CEST, which is this Friday. So if you are curious, make sure to head over to our website and read all about the details there. So I'm really, really thrilled about that. It's a freelance part-time position, and I really, really hope we can find someone who's as passionate about what we do as we are. And that brings me to the last part of the making segment, which is shop news for my own shop, and I'm gonna keep that brief because I feel like this is so promo already, and I'm sorry about that, guys. There's just so much to talk about when it comes to making stories. But I quickly wanted to say a huge, huge thank you to everyone who purchased from my last shop update that was last week, and I introduced a new bag size and a new bag color. The shop is almost sold out, but I will be restocking either this week or next week, and I wanted to show you that there are still, I think, 2 bags left of forest green, which is back, yay, in the new medium size. So this is perfect for a shawl project. Like, it's not gonna hold you, find your fate, but it's gonna, okay, sorry, that was, someone was ringing the bell there. It's gonna be fine. So yeah, this is that medium sized bag. Perfect for a shawl or a big hat or a pair of mittens, anything color work, you know, that doesn't really fit in a small bag. So this is really the medium size that I've been wanting to add for a while. And this is the new color, and this is also so that you can compare how the small bag size compares to the medium one. This is burgundy, and I'm absolutely in love with it. And you guys, these went so fast, like the medium size and the large ones, crazy. But there are still a few of the small ones. And also, I have new hang tags. And I'm really excited about them. So they're from the same printer that prints my thank you cards, and it's all eco-friendly and printed in Germany, and they just make me super happy. So yay for that. Link to the Etsy shop in the show notes. I'm really, really happy about how much you like the new bag size and the new bag color. Okay, let's move on to creative business stuff, shall we? And the first thing that I wanted to do is talk about Patreon and say a huge hi and welcome. And I'm so glad that you've joined us, to the 4 new patrons that have already joined in October, who are Ariana, Nin, Selma, and Jessica. Guys, I'm so happy that you found me and that you're supporting what I'm doing, and I can't wait to share next month's video with you. And I thought this would be a nice opportunity to talk a little bit more about Patreon, and also give you a little insight into the last video that I did. If you've been following my Instagram, I did a longer story at the beginning of the month on the day where I filmed the Patreon video, just because I thought it would be fun to sort of film my progress and my work process, and I'm really, really happy that you liked it. So maybe I'm gonna make it I don't know, semi-regular thing to do that. If you're not familiar with Patreon is a platform for creators, essentially for people that, like me, who produce video content, or for example also knitwear designers. There are a few wonderful knitwear designers on Patreon, and you can pledge per month a certain amount of money, and you get something in exchange for that. So for pattern designers, for example, it's early access to patterns. For me, it's exclusive content. It's a tutorial video that I put out every month about different topics, and you can choose which topics you want me to talk about. So for example, the October video is all about how to prepare a product launch. And I thought, I was looking through my list of questions, which is not very long at this point in time. So if you have any creative business related questions that you'd like me to answer in the podcast, please do so. Do comment below with the questions, okay? Because I'm running out of questions, and I don't like running out of questions. So because I ran out of questions, I thought it would be nice to talk a little bit more and give a few tips about the topic that I am talking about in the October video, which is all about product launch. And I think that is really important, especially now, because we are in the middle of Christmas season. And if you're a maker, if you own a creative business, you know that, especially with knitting, fall and winter is where it's at, people, right? As soon as it gets cold, sales start picking up. And that's really something that I've had to learn over the last year. Like last year, I wasn't prepared at all for Christmas. And this year, I think I'm getting better. I need to get better at producing more stock earlier in the year, because right now I'm just frantically sewing. Luckily, I have a little bit of help, but still, yeah. And one thing that I find that really, really helps is planning out product launches in a way that doesn't take away too much time. And what I mean by that is that I actually have a template list for my product launch, which I'm sharing in that Patreon video that I was talking about earlier. So every time that I plan a new product release, like let's say a new bag color, I could just copy paste that list and go through it. And that way I don't really have to reinvent the wheel. So friends, just in time for everything regarding life update and chatter, the camera cart was full. So I'm back. Hi. And I want to talk to you a little bit about, as I said, life update and chatter. And the first thing that I want to talk about is a little bit about the sort of like self-care conversation thingy that I started last week, which I think resonated with a few of you. So that makes me really, really happy. And I thought I would just share one thing that I've done over the past 2 weeks or so, or like 2 things actually, and that really, really helped me, I don't know, maybe calm down a little bit in this busy season and find back to how I want to build these businesses that I'm building and live the life that I'm living. And I sort of felt like in the last few months that this has fallen a little bit off the bandwagon because there was just so much to do and no way around it. And the two things that I've been doing is, one, I started practicing yoga a little bit. I'm not a yogi. I'm not like, I don't know. The backstory of that is that I got sick, and if you know me, you know that I'm usually working out every single morning, and that is also a really, really important part of my mental health program, if you wish, because if I don't do that, I get really frustrated and anxious and just not very good. And every time that I get sick, I don't work out anymore. I just can't. Like, it doesn't, and I don't think it's good for your body if you work out when you're sick. What I did this time though was that as soon as I started feeling a little bit better, instead of going back to my usual sort of fitness regime, I started doing yoga. And I just started very, very slowly with like a 10-minute yoga video practice every morning, and then just clicked on whatever video sounded good, honestly. I've long loved yoga with Adrienne. I just really, really like her, and I like her style and her videos, and it's not too woo-woo, and I just really, really like it. And that's really helped me get back on my feet after I got sick again. And I also find that it helped me a lot last week when I was trying to get back into a more sustainable rhythm for my life. So that is one thing that I've been doing. And the second thing is a little handy function that I discovered on my phone. So last week I read a really interesting article about sleep and about the effect that not having enough sleep can have on our lives. And that article had a few recommendations, and one of them was to set yourself an alarm, if you will, for your bedtime. So thinking about how long you want to sleep and when you want to get up in the morning, and then setting yourself an alarm for bedtime. And it also suggested that having screen-free time before going to bed would be a really good thing. And I've known that for a while, but I'm still guilty at scrolling through my Instagram when I'm lying in bed. So I decided to combine those two and discovered this nice little handy function on my iPhone where I can actually set an alarm for my bedtime and then set another alarm an hour before that, so that I know when to put away my phone. And I tried that, and I've only started it, so I've gone screen free for maybe, I don't know, like 5 out of the last 7 days or something. But I really like it. I'm calmer. And I think that's also because of that. So those are just two things that I thought I would share from my life and from what I've been doing lately. And I think these tie in nicely also with sort of this creative business segment, because especially with this frantic holiday season, I think we can just all like need as much inspiration for self-care as there is. So yeah, I just thought I would share them with you, and maybe you get inspired to try them too. In other news, things have been going well here. We've been busy just sort of sorting through things in the apartment, sorting out smaller things after the big renovation, deciding about new furniture and things like that. And I think we're finally making some headway with this, so that makes me really, really happy. And then what else did I want to talk about? Oh, I actually wanted to close this episode with a recommendation, because we saw a really, really good movie last night. We're still these people who not only stream, but we also go to sort of like the movie library here. And we picked up Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson the other day and watched it yesterday. And so good. I know there's like tons of criticism about the movie, and especially about the fact that she's starring in it. But it was just really immersive. Like I really just felt part of the story, and it was just really, really good. So if you like sort of sci-fi movie thingies, I really strongly suggest you check it out. It's been out for a while, and I really liked it. or not, I don't know. I do know that I really liked it and that I would recommend it. It's really just fun. It's fun watching it. So those are the things that have been happening in my life lately. The next few weeks are going to be busy, especially with events, with our release party coming up, and then with Nottingham coming up, and then we have a quick getaway break planned. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited to continue knitting on all the squishy things and get back to work. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you. I hope you had a really nice, relaxing weekend, that you're enjoying fall or spring, depending on where you are in the globe. And please, please, please don't forget, if you have any questions for me, anything that you would like me to talk about with regards to the creative business segment of the podcast, please do comment below. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, that really helps me, or subscribe if you want to keep updated, if you want to stay updated with all the new sort of videos that I'm putting out there. And I can't wait to see you again very, very soon. Bye!